Hi, I'm Samaldonic still, and this is Anaklusmos14's Lord Perseus, Child of Rome, uh, Chapter 2, although it's technically the first chapter because the first chapter was a prologue, but it's also the second chapter because there was only one chapter before it, but whatever. In the fic, it's called Chapter 2, Domains. 10 years later. 10 years had passed since Perseus was left in the care of the Creator. Being a young godling, Perseus was already a full-grown man. Chaos had spent the past decade raising the son of Lupa and teaching him to use his godly powers, as well as the powers given to him as the adopted son of Chaos. He taught him the history of the earth from the creation of Gaia to the fall of Greece, up until the creation of the Roman Empire following the Trojan War. Chaos taught Perseus the history of the gods and titans, as well as explained to him the role of each and every god and goddess, from the Olympians to the minor deities. Perseus could not help but dislike the way the Olympians ruled the earth. Although he agreed with his father that they were the lesser of two evils, and the earth was better off in the hands of the Olympians than the Titans, he could not stop himself from thinking that they could do a much better job ruling the world. There were a few Olympians he thought performed their duties well. It was a short list that included Poseidon/Neptune, Hestia or Vesta, and Artemis or Diana. They were the deities who put their duties as gods and goddesses first in front of their own personal lives. Perseus knew his mother was fond of Lady Diana, and because of that, she was one of the few Olympians he respected. He admired the way she protected young women and empowered them by creating a group of fierce female warriors, her hunters. He also admired the way Lady Hestia was willing to step down from her position on the council just to avoid conflict within her family. The same could be said for Poseidon, for Perseus knew if he wanted to he could dethrone his brother, since he had 2/3 of the earth under his control, but did not because power was not important to him, so he allowed his arrogant brother to rule the Good Lord. So he allowed his arrogant brother to rule the gods. I apologize, that was... Ugh. Perseus despised the way Zeus ruled the world. He constantly allowed his desire for power and paranoia to overrule what was best for Western civilization. He had fastened the Olympian Council in such a way to ensure he would always remain in power. He filled the council with his children, while refusing to allow his brother Hades on the council, despite the fact that he was the eldest son of Kronos, which gave him more of a right to rule the gods than his younger brother, as well as allowing his sister Hestia to step down so another one of his sons could join the council. The fact that Zeus allowed the eldest child of Kronos and Rhea to be pushed off the council by a mere demigod turned god really made Perseus's blood boil. In what way was the god of wine more important than the eldest of the Olympian gods? In what way was the god of wine even important enough to be on the Olympian council? Regardless of what he thought of the gods, he knew it was his responsibility to protect their rule when the time came, and he would not allow the gods to fall, since his mother was a part of that pantheon of gods. Perseus was sent to Earth once a month to visit his mother, where they could spend the day roaming the woods of Europe, chatting aimlessly and catching up with each other, away from the prying eyes of anyone who could discover the secret they had been closely guarding over the past decade. Along with the powers from Chaos, Perseus had inherited from his mother the ability to speak to all animals he encountered, as well as the ability to change into a large midnight black wolf with striking black and silver eyes. Imagine if this was black and had eyes. And wasn't just a face. Despite their short amount of time together during his visits, Perseus and his mother were very close. When the day finally came when Chaos and Lupa explained the circumstances of his birth, it took a lot of Chaos's power to restrain Perseus from teleporting to Earth, marching straight up Mount Olympus and sending Ares directly into the void for an eternity of punishment. Chaos promised him he would have his revenge after he was introduced to the whole of Olympus, when he was sent there to aid them against the threat where Chaos foresaw Perseus would be the deciding factor in the survival of the gods. Perseus waited with great anticipation for the day he would come face to face with his mother's rapist. As his powers developed, Chaos and Lupa noticed he had remarkable hunting abilities, as well as an affinity to night over day. Perseus excelled in the use of most weapons, but preferred the use of his bow, or throwing knives, for long-range weaponry, and a sword when fighting in close quarters. Perseus became a master of stealth and a fierce warrior under the tutelage of his adoptive father. Shortly after completing his 10th year of training, Perseus was called by his father into the throne room located in the void. When he walked in, he was shocked to see his mother standing to the right of Chaos, wearing a proud smile that mirrored that of Perseus's adopted father. "Perseus, today you are finding out your domains as a god," Chaos said with a smile on his face. Perseus bowed to his parents and then looked up at his father and said, "And what will my domains be, father?" As if waiting for their cue, 3 elderly women appeared in a blinding light in between the young god and his parents. They spoke in unison. "All hail Lord Perseus, son of Lupa, mother of Rome, and Chaos, creator of the universe, primordial god of hunting, battle, darkness, and time." Just as quickly as they arrived, the 3 fates disappeared in a flash of light. "Time?" Perseus managed to stutter out, wondering why he was given a domain belonging to his adoptive brother. Although none of the other primordial gods knew of Perseus's existence, his father had told him everything, from the creation of the earth to his children, the primordial gods. "Yes, son. Your brother has let himself fade into the void, where he can join some of his siblings in the realm of the fated. With no master of time other than my grandson Chaos, who is currently in thousands of pieces in Tartarus, I felt it necessary to fill the powerful position of primordial of time with someone I trust. It will also be a powerful tool for you in the struggles you will endure when you make your return to Earth," Chaos explained. Perseus was speechless. He had no idea he would be a primordial god, let alone control one of the most powerful domains. He was the child of a minor Roman goddess and the Olympian god of war. As if reading his son's thoughts, which happened to be exactly what he did, Chaos sternly responded, "You are not a son of the Olympian god of war. You are my son, the son of the first primordial god and the creator of the universe. I adopted you the same day you were born. I removed all aspects of Ares the minute I claimed you as my own. And as for your mother, yes, she is a minor Roman goddess, but she is a rather powerful one in her own way. You will find the abilities from your mother very beneficial to you as you go through life. I promise." Perseus couldn't help himself as his face cracked into a grin, large canines clearly visible in his smile. He walked up and embraced his father. He then did the same with his mother, who had an identical smile on her face, oversized visible canines included. She quietly whispered how proud she was of him in his ear before vanishing in a flash of light back to Rome. "So, what happens now?" Perseus asked his father. In response, Chaos gave Perseus a sly smile and said, "Now, your training truly begins." Perseus paled, thinking of his training becoming more difficult. The past 10 years had been a lot of hard work. He couldn't imagine what his training would become if that had only been a warm-up.